This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar, ECW original, and co-star, I'll have you know, the London Film Critics Best Picture winner, the wrestler, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie! What's on your mind?
Hey, it's good to be back in the States.
Yes, sir.
I was over in foggy, well, not London town, but I was in Manchester for a couple of days. Shout out to the folks who do For the Love of Wrestling convention.
Yeah.
Had a great couple days there, which were extended because we had the blizzard here on East Coast. So, I mean, if you're going to get stuck anywhere, get stuck over in the UK. It's a good time, good things, good times with good friends, good fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy to be home. Happy to be with you here, sir. Happy to be with the Pod Squad.
Good morning, everyone.
But today is a special day.
We do have a special day. We have a special guest, and I know everybody also, I know we're here. I know everybody's seen the stuff from the 2K26 Creator Fest, and yes, we will address Paul Heyman's random blicky shot at Meanie at HQ from this past week. But we do have we do have a guest today. He is the author of a graphic novel called Consensual Violence, and his name is Del James. I'm going to bring him into the studio now. Del, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it, man. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having both of you guys. Yo, so Meanie, you got stuck in England. We also got stuck at some point during the Chinese Democracy Tour. We were supposed to finish the tour and then fly home. And this was right before Christmas time. This is like December 19th, 20th or some shit like that. And they got a 1/4 inch of snow. And the Snow Plowers Union couldn't decide who was going to plow the runways. So every flight got shut down for like 3 or 4 days. We go to Heathrow, and it's a zombie movie. It's people being told, go to this counter, go to that counter, get your luggage here, do this and that. Wow. And they're stuck, they're stranded, and it's snowy, it's cold. We wound up staying, I want to say like 3 extra days, and got home on Christmas Eve. So getting stuck in England is a thing.
It's a thing, all right. Luckily, I found out my flight was canceled before we went from Manchester back to London, back to Philly. So, you know, thank God the promotion was kind enough to take care of all that stuff with the flight and the hotel, and got to hang out for a couple of days. But Heathrow's a different kind of airport, man, where you go to make a connection, and you're walking for a bit. So, you know, I definitely got my steps in while I was in London, you know, but, you know, if you're going to be stuck anywhere, you might as well be stuck in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Better than being stuck here in the middle of the fucking snowstorm, man. That was the shits, dude. It was horrible. Yeah. Shut down everything again. But the weirdest part about it was like, they were like, oh, we're going to get up to like 2 feet of snow. And like, oh, fuck, here we go again. And then it snows here. We get about 1 foot here in Chester County. And then within 6 hours, everything is like starting to melt. So I was like, okay, well, at least it's not as bad as the one the previous week when we were snowed in for a couple of days. But glad you had a good time over there in foggy London town.
Yeah, the people who do For the Love of Wrestling run a really good, run a tight ship. They drew over like 4,000 fans the first day, 2,000 on a Sunday, which is still good by convention standards. And yeah, it was great just to catch up with everybody. I consider conventions like mini high school reunions. So, you know, it's always good to see some good friends, you know. But yeah, we speaking of good friends, Del, you and I have known each other since like the infancy of AOL, and
since the advent of the internet, yes. And since we used to have these dial-up modems that made that bing, bing, bing sound, and you know, you hope to get a good connection, and you paid for the internet. You know, you had to subscribe to like America Online and get a disc and install it.
God, I remember.
I still have some of those discs somewhere around here.
I think everybody does. They're fucking monsters, and they come back from the dead.
Make a pretty good beer coaster, though. Just
Yeah.
But yeah, those were interesting days.
So there used to be a group of loyal wrestling fans that would meet in the AOL grandstand area. And
Yes.
Meanie would join us every so often because Meanie was in the business.
Yep.
But we were tape traders. We were obsessive fanboys. We were hardcore debating angles and what we just recently saw. And within this group was a fella named Jeremiah Evans, who was a wonderful human being. And some of his photographs wound up being in like Raven's documentary and stuff like that. Just a general all-around good dude and still a huge wrestling fan. Mike Johnson from Pro Wrestler Insider was also in this group. And also in this group, trading tapes, being part of the conversation, was a teenage Tony Khan.
Crazy. Every time that you guys talk about that, it's just nuts. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I used to trade tapes with Tony Khan and had no clue how much younger than myself he was. And he conversed like an adult. He knew Memphis wrestling. And I mean, the debates that went on in these chat rooms went on for hours. And I mean, wow, look at where everybody has wound up ever since those early days, man.
It was cool because we just did the AEW just did a residency in Philly, and I was Tony was kind enough to invite me on some of the shows, and I think I did about 5 things out of the 11 shows. But he's like, keep coming back. I was like, sure, I'll eat some catering, and there's one night I went to, I was leaving the building end of the night, and I see Tony. I go up to him and, say, hey, thanks for the opportunity. And he's standing there with the Young Bucks, and he looks at the Young Bucks and goes, the Blue Meanie has known me since I was 12 years old. And they both looked at him like, is he ribbing? And he's like, no. We used to talk on the AOL chat boards and stuff like that. So that was like, it was fun watching them process that, that we've known Tony since he was a kid. But like you said, you would have thought you were talking to an adult, and his knowledge of wrestling was, superior to mine, at least,
Mine as well. The kid had such a sharp mind. And there was another fella in this group named Todd Bangs, who went on to do a little bit of independent wrestling as a wrestler and whatnot. And he's another one who I still stay in touch with from those days. And just the endless shits and giggles laughing about fucking whatever was going on at the time. It's pretty amazing, And now what's even more amazing is this kid who was in the chat room is challenging WWE. He's a rival promoter of Triple H, of Vince McMahon. It's gone from fantasy booking to holy fucking shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just power of putting your mind to what you want to do. He could have just stuck to running the Jaguars or running the soccer team. But he loves professional wrestling, and I guess when he was a kid, he was doing his own fantasy booking and writing out his own shows, and it became his fantasy booking. It became the real life booking with his show as a teenager he would call Dynamite, and now here he is with AEW Dynamite, and it's pretty inspirational when you think about it.
And the reason I brought up Todd Bangs was also in that fantasy booking thing, and they would like play against each other.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's beyond my bandwidth. I can barely put my own match together, let alone fantasy book, something like that, but more power to them.
So back in the day, ECW was one of the things that got me back into wrestling. I have been really into wrestling for a while, then it wanes because I get interested with something else, and then something picks it back up. Back in the day, this fella named Pat Howard, who was in a punk rock wrestling band called Foreign Object, and he's also Scarface the Womanizer. He was Scarface the Womanizer in Foreign Object, and he's also in Brujeria, the Mexican death metal grindcore band. So Pat sends me 2 ECW VHS tapes, and my mind explodes. The Public Enemy and the Gangsters, the Pit Bulls. I'm like, holy shit! This is not for children. This is not WWF or WCW. This is the fucking Hell's Angels of wrestling. All right, this is wild.
Yeah.
And,
it was the outlaw shit, man. It was the it was
outlaw.
It was fucking amazing. I mean, when did it even start? I was probably 11 or 12 at that time, watching it and being like, I definitely shouldn't be watching this, but I can't stop watching it.
No one should be watching this.
I remember I grew up in Bucks County, but my grandparents lived in Delaware County in Pennsylvania, in Prospect Park, right on 17th Avenue along the train tracks. And they just had these like the cable boxes and shit, but you had to like twist in the back of the cable box to get, I think it was WGHB or whatever fucking channel it was, but you had to twist it. Didn't come on until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We would go there and we would stay up all night because we're like, we want to watch the New Jack match. We want to see BWO. We want to do this, and it was like, it was like outlaw TV, and it was like, I've told Meanie before, like being a fan of ECW is like having a secret handshake, right? It's like you're part of a club, and it's like, I don't know. It's just
like it was like watching a snuff film.
So Pat turns me onto these 2 tapes, and I've got to have more. Right?
Yeah.
I went out and bought a satellite dish back in the days when you actually had to purchase the satellite dish to get Sports Channel Philadelphia and be able to watch ECW once a week.
Yep.
So time passes, become friends with Brian. And there's something about the weapons being used that's blowing my mind. It's like, this shit's painful. How do you guys do this? So being the scientist that I am, I decide to experiment on myself.
Oh, God.
I got a frying pan, and I'm like, do you hit yourself on the round part of your head? Oh, fuck. That's better. Maybe the flat part of your head. Ow! So I asked Meanie, I'm like, yo, you got to tell me, how do you guys do those frying pan spots? I was hitting myself in the head, and no matter what I do, it hurts. He's like, you fucking idiot. The frying pan's gimmicked, man. Got lumps on my head.
You had like the little Tweety bird going around your head.
Yeah.
But the secret to it, next door to the old ECW arena used to be a dollar store, and they would sell like the flimsy, cookie sheets and frying pans, and those frying pans couldn't break an egg that you were cooking it on it, but you hit it right, and me and Al Snow always joked that like we have plenty of boingy metal. All our metal was boingy. As long as it made it sound, it didn't, it is what it was. But those frying pans were just cheap old dollar store frying pans from the dollar store next to the ECW arena.
That's so
my heavy duty frying pan was not from the dollar store, and it left dents.
That's funny, man. We got a friend of yours in the chat here. Mass Sanity is also somebody from the AOL chat days.
He is indeed.
Cannon Cult from the Grandstand. I'm sure you guys will understand those references. Jeremiah is the glue that holds all of us together.
Yes.
The post AOL poster known as ECF MFW was cool too.
Jeremiah indeed still connects everybody and lets, he'll let me know if Brian's in town. He'll let me know if something's going on that I should go check out. Like there's a band called Kill Cheerleader who are playing here tonight, and I was unaware that was happening. It's not too far from my house. So yeah, Jeremiah is indeed the glue that holds us all together.
Jeremiah he had a great spot because he was front row for all those ECW arena shows, and he would drive out from Cincinnati, like Kentucky, Cincinnati area, like a 13-hour drive once a month. But like some of the photos he has are tremendous. And not only were they in the Raven documentary, but the Dark Side of the Ring guys, licensed some of his photos as well. But Jeremiah, you said he turned you onto a band. He turned me on to so much different music. And he, back in the day when like making your own CDs was a rarity, he would make me like ECW CDs of all the shows we used on TV. And I still have those CDs and I cherish them to this day.
Very cool. Yeah. No, just a wonderful dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
He also says Todd still provides the shits and giggles.
Yeah, he's a funny fucking dude. And once a year, I believe he's in a battle royal in Chicago that raises money for a good cause.
That's awesome. And then he says, I haven't listened to Brujeria in a while. I should give them a listen. And then he brings up that WWE steps aren't as heavy as they seem, but they sound good. And he says Jeremiah used to live in the same area as Brian Pillman. So
yeah.
This is I listen, man. I had a chance to check out your book today. It's the graphic novel Consensual Violence. It's great. It's gripping. The first couple pages here with the story building it up is fantastic. So I guess the love of wrestling really kind of inspired this story for you. Is that where it built from? What was the genesis of the book itself?
You can't write about something unless you're familiar with it or love it or fascinated by it. And I am all of the above when it comes to professional wrestling. I'm a bit older than Meanie is, so I grew up on WWF wrestling with Bruno Sammartino as the champion, with Pedro Morales as the champion, with Superstar Graham as the champion. I saw Billy Graham defend the belt against Mil Mascaras in Madison Square Garden in 1977.
Wow. Awesome.
I ever since I was a little kid and my mom would go to the beauty parlor, I would go to the Five and Dime, to the delicatessen that had those glorious magazine racks with just tantalizing covers of tawdry wrestling treachery. And as long as I didn't get in too much trouble, I'd usually leave with a wrestling magazine. And so wrestling has always been part of my upbringing, as have comic books, as have horror movies, as has heavy metal, yada, yada, yada. They all have been a part of what shapes me. I was watching an El Santo Blue Demon movie and was just struck by these muscular, larger than life people going about their daily business with shiny blue masks on or silver masks on and capes coming out of their business attire, like dude in mask and cape, nothing to see here. So I see this and I'm like, how can you do a realistic, a based in reality story where the heroes of your story have to wear costumes while fighting for their lives? And that ridiculous idea is the seed from which consensual violence grew.
Now, when you go to do a project like that, what's the fleshing out part? Like from the germ of the idea to, okay, I'm going to write this up, to finding the artist, to finding, the printer and the distribution of, it's a beautiful project. The colors just pop off the screen. The artwork is phenomenal. The writing is phenomenal as always. But what's the fleshing out part for you?
So serious writers take notes. You just don't sit down and start banging something out. You don't you don't bullshit your way through it. You sketch it out and then you write and you rewrite and you rewrite. Writing is the process of rewriting and note taking and all this kind of stuff. So Consensual Violence started off as a movie script, and it was a movie script no one read. It was something that just sat on my laptop forever, and it had some good ideas because the proof is in the pudding of consensual violence. You know, the storytelling, the plot is basically an adaptation of a movie script, and so a writer writes, even if nobody reads it, even if, you know, it's frustrating being unread. So I had these stories. I have several scripts that I've written that hopefully get developed into graphic novels. There's another one that's in the works right now, but I got these stories, and a storyteller needs to tell the story. So my friend Jeremy Wagner, who's the guitar player in a band called Broken Hope, he's also an Earthburner. He is the CEO of Dead Sky Publishing. And much like Tony Khan is a promoter, president, owner of a wrestling company for all the right reasons, Jeremy is the CEO, owner, boss man of Dead Sky for all the right reasons. He puts out passion projects that are very horrific, very heavy metal, very cutting edge. So Jeremy and I are friends since my Rip magazine days and the earliest days of Broken Hope being a band. He was asking me about me possibly doing some writing for Dead Sky. And I'm like, I've got stories, you know, and you guys are putting out these graphic novels, blah, 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 you know, maybe we can do something together. Jeremy introduces me to his CFO over at Dead Sky, this fella named Steve Wands. And Steve Wands is my comic book sensei. He's my kung fu master. He's the guy who knows comic book world. So Steve taught me how to convert from one language script to another language comic book. And you know, it took me a couple passes before I got it, but eventually I got it to a point where it was a presentable comic book script. Then the next stage is finding the right artist. Steve made suggestions, and we agreed upon a fella named Arjuna Susisni, Italian fella, lives in Italy. Sometimes there was a communication breakdown, or he didn't fully understand something, but everything I ever asked for, he delivered. He was very patient with me because there are Easter eggs throughout Consensual Violence. People are wearing shirts, and if you're wearing an ECW shirt, you better be wearing an ECW shirt where I can see it. The wrestling masks that are for sale at a wrestling kiosk are indeed Tiger Mask and Jushin Thunder Liger and Mil Mascaras. So we had to get the little details right. Mm-hmm. The fan wearing a Slayer shirt better have the Slayer logo. So Arjuna was super patient with me, and you know, I couldn't have gotten any more fortunate than having that guy. Then the next phase of creating a comic book, creating a graphic novel, the artist does the art, then in comes the colorist, and that's a lady named Julia Brusco. She's got mad credits. Everybody involved on the team, I can't thank them enough because they made my story that much better. They improved upon my idea so much. So Julia is responsible for the tone of the imagery, and it's kind of got a washed out, gritty, grainy feel, which enhances the storytelling because that's where you're supposed to be. You're in Juarez, fucking Mexico. You're in El Paso, Texas. It's not Manhattan, you know, it's got a different texture, and she captured it perfectly. And finally, the letterer is a fella named Mikey Fiorentino, and all the balloon captions are pow, bam, all that kind of stuff is what he does. And again, he improved the story with his creativity, with his knowledge, and you know, Dead Sky Publishing have been incredibly supportive. They gave me this great roster, this great lineup for my debut graphic novel, which is fucking unheard of,
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more prouder than I am of Consensual Violence and everyone involved.
I was going to say there's definitely like I almost want to say it's like a Tarantino feel, but it's like a Western kind of feel when I read the book. It was one of the first things I noticed where it was like a Western type of book, right?
You're not wrong. The word you're looking for is exploitation film.
That's exactly. I couldn't think. That's what I was trying to figure out the word. I couldn't pull it together. But yes, that's the vibe I got from it, and I was like, oh, I'm fucking into this. This is this is right up my alley. Yeah.
The script is based on the exploitation genre, the rape revenge film genre. Kill Bill is obviously an influence. Thriller, A Cruel Picture, I Spit on Your Grave, Ms. 45. What you can't defend rapists. Okay. So when your antagonist, when your villain does something as horrific as rape your protagonist, your hero, you're going to root for the hero. You want to see revenge. You want to see the payback occur. And that's the simple formula behind it. So yeah, you're right. It's definitely got, some exploitation film DNA, but it's also a bit of a buddy film. We become enamored with Luna and Kristen, La Viuda de Frankenstein, and their personalities come out in their conversations so that when they're in peril, we feel for them. We don't want to see bad shit happen to them, even though it's inevitable.
Right.
Now, I saw you had gone down to some lucha shows, and they acknowledged you on TV. Has there been a feedback within the lucha libre community to Consensual Violence?
I was very fortunate that when Guns N' Roses, the band I work for, were in Mexico City last November, there was a CMLL Arena Mexico show on the Friday, and Friday was a non-work day, was a non-show day. So myself, a couple of the crew, and my wife went to the CMLL show. I'm friendly with a fella named Christian Kaimet. Christian works for the promotion. He works for CMLL, but he also has one of the most valuable lucha libre mask collections in the world.
Really?
He has match-worn Santo masks. He has match-worn Blue Demon masks. He has match-worn Mil Máscaras masks. He has, you name it, he's got it. Dr. Wagner Jr., et cetera, et cetera. And Christian is a Guns N' Roses fan, so I always take care of him when there's a show and he can make it. So the possibility of going to the show arises. Christian hooks us up with tickets, and we're in like the second or third row at fantastic seats. And before the matches, we got to meet some other wrestlers, and I got to give them books and stuff like that. So as far as getting feedback from it, no, but everybody who like flips through it is immediate. How can you not be drawn in if you're a wrestling fan by that cover, man?
Absolutely.
It's exploitation cinema marketing, the tawdry movie poster drew us in, You keep saying to yourself, it's only a movie. It's only a movie. Of course I'm going to go see something like that. And same deal. My wrestling friends who have read it have been very positive in the response and the feedback. So Christian hooks us up. We get to meet some wrestlers, do some mingling. I speak Spanish, so I was able to communicate to the luchadors. And then we go to watch the matches, and over the PA, they announced, we'd like to welcome, the road manager for Guns N' Roses, Del James. So I'm a ham. Everybody look at me, right? And it was my wife Chayla's birthday, and they also acknowledged her birthday. So if you've seen the clip when she's like, they totally got her, and that was a beautiful thing.
It's fantastic. That's fantastic. When it comes to your experience with wrestling, you also, you wrote being an author, you also wrote a book called Language of Fear, which has a story called Without You that inspired probably one of the greatest rock songs of all time, November Rain.
Yeah. Now,
I wrestled for a company called ECW, which we've already talked about. But how, a lot of people, wonder how did ECW get away with using music? And, I'm talking to Billy Corgan. He's like, yeah, I knew they were using my music, but I always thought, I liked ECW, so I didn't really mind. So when it came to the use of November Rain, what was your immediate feedback, and what was the balance of, should I say something? Should I not say something?
There was never any, should I say something? That's up to a lawyer to figure out. That's up to management to figure out. I'm not snitching on my favorite wrestling promotion. You know what I'm saying? And ECW was so punk rock that you knew that they weren't using White Zombie legally. You knew they weren't using Fight for Sabu, the Rob Halford's band legally, and that they had the balls to do an 11-minute promo to the entire November Rain song. There's no way. There is absolutely no way. But as far as I'm concerned, I never saw it happen,
I don't know nothing.
And if it was WWF or WCW, yeah, they've got the pockets to afford it. ECW was running in the ECW arena, as well as like Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, and other small towns and cities and whatnot. You root for the underdog, that someone has the creativity as well as the balls to do something like that. Kudos.
It's really quite, like I said, it's just quite an amazing graphic novel. I'm getting through it right now. What do you think is one thing that you want people to take away from the story, and what do you think is the central anchor for the story itself? Like, when you have people read it, what do you want them to keep in mind as they're flipping through this book?
It's good versus evil. It's not rocket scientist. Something horrible happens, and then revenge happens at the end. But throughout it, I bring attention to some of the toxic emails and messages and posts that female wrestlers experience in this day and age.
Yeah.
And it's just not fucking cool. You can boo and cheer and root for whomever you want, but to aggressively attack someone because they portray a character you don't like or you like but you can't have is so fucked up. And if it raises a little awareness, then I succeeded on a level I wasn't expecting to. Consensual violence without me planning it is kind of my feminist statement. It's we need to be more respectful of women.
Yes,
absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to flipping through. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up yet, you said it's on Amazon right now, right? Where else can people pick it up?
If you go to a comic book store and they don't have it, ask them to order, but generally speaking, the easiest and quickest spot is Amazon.com. It's also available on the Dead Sky website, Dead Sky Publishing website.
I have one other quick question just about because we usually would love to have you stick around too to answer some questions from the Pod Squad here. And also too, while you're listening, you can watch this video right now. If you want to see us talk to each other, go to patreon.com/mindofthemeanie and sign up today. But I got a question just about Guns N' Roses, if it's okay. I know you're their tour manager. You've been with them for a long time. Was there a specific tour that was your favorite out of all the ones that you've done from them, and what made it your favorite?
I would have to say one of my favorite tours was the Skin and Bones tour in 1993, which is after the stadium tour with Metallica. It was stripped down. The Brian May band was the opener. Blind
Nice.
Melon was the opener.
Wow.
And from it going to such a big thing, a stadium, spectacular, massive production to strip down. There was a part in the set where it was kind of like the acoustic set, and we'd bring out a couch and bar stools and do songs like Used to Love Her and shit like that. That was pretty special. The reunion tour, obviously, it has been it's mind-boggling. My mind is blown, and I'm grateful every day that it happened and that I'm a part of it.
I'm grateful that you extended an invite because last time you guys were in the area in Hershey, you knowing that I'm a huge Van Halen fan, and Wolfgang Van Halen got to open up for you guys, and technically I got to see Wolfgang's third live show ever because of you, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Now that was my pleasure. I'm glad you came. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Oh man, always. But rock and roll and pro wrestling being kindred spirits, we've all probably experienced things on the road on tour, and I have to ask, I have to ask, has there ever been your most memorable Spinal Tap moment on tour? Because pro wrestling and rock and roll are pretty much the same beast, so I'm sure we've had familiar experiences.
I've led the band the wrong way. I am totally guilty of that, and I own it. All right. Hold on one second.
Yeah, you're good, babe. I can't even imagine what that must be
like. I'm my own stupidity.
I've done that before with Bam when I've been doing when I did shows and stuff, when I was setting up events for Bam, Margera and those guys, I would go the wrong way, and it's that cold sweat you feel. We're like, oh fuck, I can't believe I did this. I'm supposed to be professional, and now I fucked up.
So we do a walkthrough. We do a security walkthrough every day before anybody gets to the venue, so we're familiar with the walk, with the path, right? I have a good eye, my left eye. I have a bad eye, my right eye. So I automatically always go left, no matter what you could tell me 1,000 times, go right. I'm going to go left, left, left until I finally make a right. And sure enough, I have gone left when I should have gone right and walked into a you can't get out door. Yeah, so proud of myself.
Should have made a left in Albuquerque.
Fucking should have stayed home.
Yeah. Now, another thing that connects rock and roll and pro wrestling, any good practical jokes? Any good ribbing?
It's gone away. There used to be like this tradition of the end of the tour, the headliner would do something to the opening act. Pantera would shaving cream and rubber balls, typo negative or something like that. And there was some of that stuff in the early days, but we're older now, we're more mature, and don't have time to really plan out how to mess with the opening act. Unfortunately, there is no quick answer off the top of my head. I can't remember this great moment. The second we sign off, I'll remember 1,000 of them.
That's how it goes. That's always how it goes. And that's just another reason to bring you back on too.
Of course. Yes, absolutely.
No, thank you guys. I would love to come back on, and thank you very much for helping me promote.
You're doing the Batman. Wow.
Go out of your way to pick up Consensual
I've also
Violence.
seen Consensual Violence t-shirts. Are those available online?
They are not. I printed up a bunch. I handed them out. My friends were kind enough to wear them, and they are gone.
Duly noted.
Go out of your way to pick up the book, though. It's Consensual Violence by Del James. We want to thank you for being here with us today, but we also we have some questions from our Pod Squad and other listeners, but I first actually, Meanie, have a question for you if you'll indulge me before the main question, because I've been fucking stewing on this.
What's that?
Since I was up at WWE HQ last week. Paul Heyman, I got to ask him a question about 2K26, which comes out next week. And brother, he took a stray at you, man. I was like, the Blue Meanie sends his regards, and he goes, fuck him. And I was like, I'll let him know. Like, I didn't know how to respond. So I want to know what your response is to Mr. Heyman.
Well, if I may, sir. Sir, if I may have a volley.
If I may, sir, because I know he's listening too. He listens to all the ECW shows. So I know he knows who we are and he knows we're listening. So we hope you like our impressions.
I love Paul, and I know a fuck him from Paul is and I love you in another language. So Paul's a great guy. We still keep in touch here and there, but I know his tongue in cheek with a little bit of a wink. So and kudos on your great interview with Paul.
Thank you very much.
But
Thank you.
When he said that, I popped huge.
I clipped the reel. If you watch the full video, which is up right now on the Sportster page, you can see me start laughing because I knew it was like tongue in cheek, but I was trying to think in the moment, and I was just like, the first thing I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll let him know. Just like, he was great though, man. He was fucking cool, and I was just like, Mr. Heyman, sir, it's a pleasure. The pleasure is mine. I was like, oh, this is great, yeah. So,
so as somebody who watched it, as somebody who saw the clip, I saw no negativity. I saw Paul just putting Meanie over in his own special way.
Yeah. It was. He said, "Fuck him with love."
As we do.
It warmed the cockles of my heart. My big black heart.
Well,
I drink my coffee.
Listen, that's how we like it, sir. That's how we enjoy it here. But Meanie, I have another question for you. Dare I say something was here and now I can't remember it. So, are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something.
Don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag Ask Meanie or drop them in the chat here and you may ask them. We got some Ask Del questions today too. So
I'm here. I'm not afraid.
Meanie, I was wondering if you had anything you were sipping on this afternoon.
Oh yeah, I actually remembered it. For those uninitiated, like Del, we are a seltzer show. Kind of came out of the pandemic when I was trying not to drink and fall down the flight of steps and not go to the hospital. So yeah, I am drinking a Polar Black Cherry today. So
nice. I had one I was going to open, but then I realized I didn't grab another one. Like I was drinking it before we started. So I'm just going with this one. It's the cheap shit from Aldi. It's the cherry limeade. I usually have the pink grapefruit, but again, I fucked up today. Dale, you sipping on anything with us, sir?
I am indeed.
My man.
An addict. I am a full-blown hardcore 6 Diet Cokes a day kind of guy.
I got the DC. Yep, I like it.
I don't know what kind of rat poisoning or fucking crystal meth they put in this shit, but it's got me.
I started stocking it at work. I'm like, oh, this is fucking good. This is real good. Man, dude.
Got that Diet Coke, man.
Got some of the DC there. All right, Meanie, let's crack these suckers here. Hope you're enjoying anything you're sipping on anywhere you're at. Dale, you can join us as well. 3, 2, 1. There she is.
Tried to say a man if I failed.
Pinkies up. Cheers, beers, fellas. All right. That's good stuff there.
Scratches an itch I can't reach.
For real. All right, we got a bunch of questions here. All right, let's start with Mass Sanity since he's at the top of the pops here. He says, ask Del, does Del have any good stories of Mike Patton annoying Guns N' Roses during the 1992 tour?
No. It's not. Things happen in separate spaces. So whatever Mike Patton has gone on to say or do after or during the tour wasn't like he was in the dressing room talking smack or anything like that. And, they would go on and do their show. And, besides Faith No More, Motorhead and Body Count were also openers, and you have different relationships with different people, you know. So where Mike Patton has said some things in the media, and over the years, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Adam from Downingtown wants to know real fast.
Go ahead.
That's okay. Adam from Downingtown wants to know, what was the dynamic like between Ice-T and Axl Rose? Because that was probably fucking cool to witness that, right?
It was. Everybody was supportive of Body Count. Everybody was supportive of a band that has the balls to give the middle finger to fucking, you know, wrongs of society and whatnot. And to this day, Duff in particular is still friends with Ice-T, with Ernie C. I'm friends with Ernie. And, you know, nothing but love and respect for the Body Count camp.
Love Ice-T. Recently met him at a convention, and him and Miss Meanie hit it off for a while. And she introduced herself as Tracy. Goes, "I'm Tracy too." So it was like it's like the coolest, you know, meeting there. He was like, "Yeah, I'm Tracy too." Yeah, we both spelled the right way. And I was like, yeah, without the E. So it's pretty cool. But you brought up Lemmy. Any good Lemmy stories?
Yes. In 1987, Guns N' Roses went to England for the very first time and did 3 shows at the Marquee Club over the span of 3 weekends. So we were there for a minute and made friends with the band that would ultimately become the Choir Boys, who at the time were called the Queer Boys. And Lemmy was also a regular at the Marquee Club, the same way he became a regular at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. Yeah. So got to meet, you know, rock and roll royalty and Lemmy, and got invited to listen to the studio where they were recording their next record, the Motorhead rock and roll album. And, you know, we were in the presence of greatness. We were witnessing something that, you know, my inner fanboy is losing his friggin' mind. And drinks were drank, and it was pretty special. Yeah. So, you know, nothing but love for Motorhead, the Motorhead organization. And of course, Lemmy, Filthy Eddie, Fast Eddie, Wurzel, Phil Campbell, Mickey D, Pete Gill. Love Motorhead. Absolutely love Motorhead.
All right. Looks like we got another question here. Let's start with this one. This is from Pod Squad member Matthew Elvis Presley. Asked Dell, I love reading books about wrestling recently, or love reading books about wrestling. Recently read the Gorilla Monsoon book and loved it. Have you read any other wrestling books? And if so, what are your favorites?
I have a small library of wrestling books. I love the Sabu biography. My man getting shot in the face in the first chapter. How can you like not want to read this all the way through? I love Brian Solomon's The Sheik book. The Sheik that he managed to pull this project off without the Sheik's involvement, because he never broke kayfabe, never gave interviews, never cared to, is a small miracle. The Dynamite Kid book was really great.
Yeah.
I probably have read every Bruiser Brody book, because Bruiser Brody is my all-time fave.
Yeah.
I got a Sabu story for you. I don't think too many people know this one, but the night he was wrestling in ECW, and Benoit threw him up, landed on top of his head.
Oof.
You know, breaking his neck. They take Sabu to the emergency room, and they run X-rays. And the doctor comes in and goes, "Sir, are you aware that you have bullet fragments in your face?" Sabu looks at the doctor and goes, "Yeah, I was there." Yeah, I was there when it happened. Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you for the question, good sir. Matt from Dover, Pod Squad member, wants to know, what's one thing you'd want people to know about Axl Rose and Slash as people?
That they are both very altruistic. They are both very considerate and giving and benevolent. They do a lot of they use their superpowers for good, but they do it behind the scenes. They don't seek out, props and public acknowledgement of a lot of the charity work they do, a lot of the organizations they support. And, it's not my place to out them, but they do a lot of really good things for good reasons.
That's awesome.
And they're funny motherfuckers. I mean, for 40 years now, we've spent a good portion of our relationship laughing. And it's not always Guns N' Roses seriousness. It's quite humorous. And you have to have a bit of gallows humor to exist in touring, to exist in wrestling. You got to be able to laugh at yourself and laugh at, the funny situations you often find yourself in.
I have one more question.
At this point, they kind of have to have that, like almost ESP, where like on stage, if something happens, they can probably just look at each other a certain way and read each other's minds and know what to do next, kind of thing.
You are totally correct. You are absolutely right.
Yeah, I was gonna say a relationship that long. I mean, you got to just that dynamic's probably super cool to watch. So we have one question here from Carl Pinnell, who's actually our engineer on the show. He does all of our audio work each and every week. Wants to know, are Slash and Steve Adler still homies?
They're still friends. They Steven came out a few shows on the reunion tour and did a guest spot. He'd do a song or two, and it was fun. It was, like you would say, it popped the crowd.
Pop the house.
Love it. Also, he would like to know how he can talk to you about getting something to Slash. Well, we can talk about that later. We want to thank you, Del, for being here.
Thank you, guys.
I love this. Has been amazing. An absolutely great conversation. Like I said, go out of your way right now to go and pick up Consensual Violence. You find it on Amazon, and if your comic book store doesn't have it, they're fucking stupid, first and foremost, for not having it, and then demand that they pick it up so you can go and buy it right from them. We appreciate your time, sir, and thank you for being here.
Guys.
Meanie, it's always
happen. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, brother. I love you like a brother for the last 30 years, and it's something when even if we don't talk, like say for a week or a month, we usually just pick up where we left off, and always all the way from those AOL days to where we've become. It's cool to see where we're at now, and that we're survivors. We're survivors.
Very true, very true. And Adam, thank you for everything. I appreciate you going out of your way to read the book. I know you only got it, but thank you both.
Dude, it's fucking great. Like, I'm really enjoying the story. I'm like, just the first couple pages, I was just like, I'm hooked. Actually, I think it was like the first or second block. I was like, all right, I'm in. I love this. So I'm looking forward to getting through it.
There's a rule in screenwriting. If you don't have them in the first 10, 12 pages, you don't have them. And that's this. If I don't have you in the first 10 or 12 pages, I don't have you.
We're going to drop a link for it in the show notes as well, so you can go and pick it up. Meanie, always a pleasure, good sir. Let me see here. And also, too, Meanie, I just want to know, it's that time of the show, sir. Where can everybody keep up to date with all things blue when you're not listening to our wonderful and sensuous program?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, at Blue Meanie BWO on all forms of social media. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. If you'd like to support Mind of the Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. MadcapBeardCare.com. Get the blue spruce beard or beard oil or balm. Shout out to Josh Thornton, who does amazing work rounding up the cats in his neighborhood, takes them to the vet, pays for it out of his own pocket, and releases them back better than he found them. So if you're a cat lover like myself, go to MadcapBeardCare.com. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself and many others I'm trying not to spoil. So for more information, go to ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game on Twitter. That's ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game on Twitter. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Wrestler Series 1's variant of the Blue Meanie are available now. All Series 1s can be ordered right now at shop.figurescollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. You can get BWO Blue Meanie or regular Blue Meanie. Either way, there is no wrong choice. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's podstrz.net. Register your podcast, book the Blue Guy, and let's have a conversation over there at podstars.net. And most importantly, cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Please book through the site and not through the app. The app takes way too much of your hard-earned money. I did a couple weeks ago, and it's always good to make somebody's day a little bit brighter there over cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. But most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. So go ahead and find me there. You can also listen to my other show, Foundation Radio, by going to foundationradio.net. And check out all my work at the Sports Store. Like I said, I was just up at WWE headquarters and did a bunch of interviews and conversations during the WWE 2K26 Creator Fest. I talked to friend of the show, Drew McIntyre, friend of the show, Chick Magnet Punk, all friends of the show, really, Paul Heyman. So I want you to go check it out. Trish Stratus was there. It was fucking phenomenal. So go to thesportster.com, and you can also go to the Sportster's YouTube page and watch everything right there. I want to give a shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You need your hair trimmed up or looking good for your next Guns N' Roses concert. You want to go call Kane and go to 10th Ward Barbershop.com. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at the Casa de Meanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget to go to Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Tiers start, Meanie and Dell. I don't know if you guys know this, at $10 American each and every month. It's a great deal. You get to watch our beautiful, handsome faces each and every week. And if you look above Meanie's head right there, hopefully, Jesus, Carl, I swear to God, if you don't fucking secure this thing, I swear I'm going to have problems here. But if you go up there, youtube.com/@Mind of the Meanie, you can go and listen to all of our shows from going all the way back to the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2022. And you can hear all of our archive there. And like we said, don't forget to pick up Dell's book right now. The graphic novel, Consensual Violence, is out right now. You're going to love it. Please trust me and pick it up. You are going to enjoy it thoroughly. I want to thank you guys for your time. I want to thank the Pod Squad for joining us here today. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Del, where can we follow you on social media?
That's right.
You can follow me everywhere on every platform that exists to mankind. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Threads. I'm on Blue Sky. And it's usually Del James Gang is my handle. So, and I've been, you'll see Consensual Violence plugs and good folks promoting and helping me, spread the word. So yeah, please follow me on social media. And if you are a reader, if you've read Consensual Violence, post reviews, help spread the word. Amazon.com reviews, review this show, man. Let the people know what you like, what you don't like. As long as it stays in the public's eye, I can't be more grateful and appreciative.
Love you, my friend.
Love you guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. For Del James and the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the meaning. Peace.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, @Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.